3, 2, 1. We are live, apparently.
Says we're live already whilst you were counting down. We'll have to edit that bit out already.
Yeah, the editor does that amazingly.
Yay.
Hello.
Thanks, editor.
Yep, editor, thank you for everything you put up with. YouTube has changed their terms of service, so now we're not allowed to swear ever. And you might as well just take down everything. Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Whenever I get an update on the terms of service, I do what you shouldn't do and just say, yeah, agree. And we all saw the episode of South Park where the kids get put in the human centipede. So it's bad to just agree to terms and conditions, but you know.
Hello, and you're listening to Let's Drone Out. Tonight, you are joined by everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Hello.
And myself, Failsafe's grandma, aka Brighton Till I Fly. Hello, everyone in chat. Hello, Lurgy. Hello, Numbskull. Hello, Tailspin. Hello, Richard Warwick.
From the chat.
Hello, Martian McFly. And Numbskull. Oh no, I already said Numbskull. You got it twice.
No.
Curry, you have been dying. Hello, Clive. From
yes, indeed.
Speaking of saying it twice, the Lurgy, you ventured forth on a skiing trip. Well done on not hurting yourself.
I couldn't hurt myself because I was already too poorly to do much.
Yeah. And yeah, you've been horrendous. At one point, I did phone you to see how you were doing, and you sounded like death. It was horrible.
Yes, it was horrible. But it was slowly getting better. I'm still on the halls, just a sort of annoying tickly cough, and feeling quite pathetic. But, you know, every day, a little bit better. Snowvid-19, says Tailspin. I don't know if it was flu or COVID because I didn't do a test, but then it turned into like a sinus infection. I had to get antibiotics on like wait for like 111 to call me back on the day after Boxing Day, because at that point my wife had enough of me being in bed just going and sleeping all day. So there you go.
Horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah.
On some news, I've decided to upgrade motors, so I've bought myself some of the T-Motor F60s. I think they are 1750 kV. So I've
Mr. 6S.
I know, Mr. 6S. Even though I only really own 2 6S batteries, so I have to do something about that. I'm still waiting for Menace RC to open his battery shop.
So you can only ever fly one battery, because you wouldn't like to fly your last one, would you? Because bad things happen.
Yeah, it never happens. Hey, Win, how's it going? You've been stuck in a meeting. Audio Geek. Yeah, the YouTube notification. I kept thinking it was Wednesday. Then Frank phoned me and was like, Failsafe, I messaged you on Discord and you ignored me, so I can't tell whether you don't like me or you're just a busy little beaver. And I hope I haven't
bit of both, I expect.
I wouldn't blame you. I know. Hello, Caroline. So yeah, we were talking. Have you been using your Radio Master box?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Is that now?
I have to explain that since I went away on a holiday, I haven't done anything, because aside from being poorly, it got, you know, when you don't feel right and you can't even concentrate on like doing anything. It was kind of like that. So it's literally it's sat over there. But yeah, I expect it to be probably a radio I'm going to use a lot, because it's got a lot going for it in terms of the battery's enormous and will last like 20 hours of constant use, and it's a high power ELRS. Not that you need high power. It's got a decent antenna. Yeah, I expect to use that mostly. It's only if I'm using something that's legacy and is on like Free Sky or something, or
yeah,
that I'd have to use something else.
yeah. It's you know, part of me is just like, oh, smaller form factor. Admittedly, it hasn't got a color screen or anything, but like what's annoying the piss out of me is having a million modules and having Ghost, and then having a Express LRS module, and then having a TPS Crossfire module for the planes, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go out. You know, I'm having to move over from Ghost to ELRS because I can't get any receivers. So I'm just like, and like none of the Lewis script shit works for the transmitters. So I'm just like,
you could always move your Ghost onto ELRS, I believe.
I don't want to do that.
It is nice to have something that you can standardize on. It's like a bit like when the Tyrannus first came out and XM pluses were like, this is brilliant, I'll just put an XM plus and everything and I'm all good. And now it's kind of like, okay, let's rip all those out and put ELRS receivers in because they update and it's really handy. I kind of like the fact that let's say I'm using the Boxer and then I take a couple of quads and one of them's got a Free Sky receiver in, so I take a different radio that's got 2 modules in. The fact I don't have to, this is more of a me thing. I don't feel anybody else has got like 6 radios sitting behind them.
Yeah,
so if I have to take
weird.
another radio and then I don't have to rebind it or anything. I can just go out and fly it still.
Yeah. Do you want an invite, Failsafe? If you promise to stay still, you can come and chat because it was pretty good last time.
Was he kicking his legs?
Yeah, it was some feet under the desk. He was a bit nervous.
He's doing a bit of river dancing.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It weren't too bad. I thought it was worse than it was.
I watched it. It was good.
Yeah, it's just good. More than anything, what I loved about him was I learned so much, and like I had to apologize to like Gavin. I don't know whether he watches this shit, but he added me from the Kiss Ultra group, and he was like, "Happy New Year," and I was just like, oh, "Who is it?" You know, like message, and then I realized who it was, and I was just like, "Yeah, you got find a cushion, Failsafe," and like. I need to ask Gav, like, mate, can you teach me some video editing stuff? And I just need to learn so much off Failsafe because he was teaching me. Clive FBV, massive shout out. He picked up one of my ELRS modules. I got 5 boards made for the little house FPV dongle. So this plugs in and your ELRS can connect to it, so you don't have any horrible Bluetoothy lag or anything. It just plugs in and works. So he picked one of those up, and I sold the other one on the ELRS Discord as well. So they went out today, and another person I keep forgetting to thank was Martian McFly. He was pivotal in the building of the history quad. I don't know whether you got to the bit of the podcast with Failsafe where we started talking about the F1 and the lack of UARTs and stuff.
Yes, I felt you kind of cheated a little bit because you got Stephen to make the latest possible beta flight he could, whereas I flew my 10-year-old quad and I used an original version of Clean Flight. So I thought I was a little bit more pure there, not to, cause offense.
Like,
but
don't get me wrong. Yeah, Martian McFly, thank you. He supplied the OSD that I thought I fried, but then didn't. But yeah, that gave OSD and that was good. Look, the reason why I went for that was because apparently there's some co-promoters if I can meet up with Oscar Lang and get those. But I wanted to build the best quad, the capstone, if you like, of the tech, because Frank and Tony have both got quads from there with like the board camera and like the basic stuff, and you could flash it right back to when that first came out. But I thought, why do that when you've got something older? We've got stuff like the KK2, and hello failsafe.
I've
Hello.
appeared.
Move over a bit. You're right on the side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice and central.
And I could put one of those in. I mean, I've got 1806 motors. I have got Gab's old, what were they called? What were they called, man? They were like a Hobby King ESC Afro Flight. Afro.
No, the plushes. It's got to be the plushes,
ESC.
hasn't it?
No, they weren't. I have. Funny enough, Martian McFly gave me some plushes, but you could only find 3 of them. So I'm missing one. If we could find another 20 amp one of those, but then I tried flashing stuff with the Arduino, and I cannot get stuff to work because I had plenty of, here they are. I had plenty of these, which are, the Emax BR like 12 amp ESCs. I had plenty of those, and I was trying to flash those to BL Heli, so that you've actually got BL Heli, and it actually gives you what is it called? Dampen light, active braking. But I just, I had the little bees, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna build. I've even got the stickers for them, like repo stickers, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna do the last support of the F1. So we built it, the last support, stuck ELRS on it. And the reason why I done that was because then that allows you to see what the ultimate thing the F1 could do. It gives you ELRS on there, so it means that you can loan the model, and more people can like plug a borrow your module, plug it in, have a go, and sort of like get that experience. Because I'd love to see Failsafe have a go. Like, I would pay. He'd be like, "What is this? Do you reckon you could fly anything that shit?"
Probably. Probably go up and down, but that's fine.
I'd like to see him fly my one, because all this like doing like flips and stuff at 3 feet off the ground, it's just like that's it.
Yeah.
3S Gemfan 50/30s. Good luck. If you do a flip, you have to go really high, and it just falls out of the sky. And if you're diving, you have to start full throttling about 4 seconds before you think it's going to hit the floor, just for it to pull up again.
Yeah. I mean, the true thing would be to turn off air mode and be like, don't go to 0 throttle, and just have you like, freak out that it just falls out the sky.
Yeah.
Because we never had air mode back then. Well, we did.
I haven't got air mode on mine.
It started like inkling. Yeah, you used to have to do idle up, and then Steven's like, what the hell, idle up, and all this sort of thing. And I'm like, mate, that's just how it was. Like, like we used to have to bump the throttle up a bit via a switch so that the gyro would run all the time at 0 throttle. I know, Failsafe's like, what are you on about? You used to have the whole thing where, I mean, people used to there used to be like a little button you'd click, and like when you arm, the motors just gently spin. There used to be a button to turn that off. So there would be this sort of like group of people who would would have their quad armed, and you wouldn't know it was armed.
Oh dear.
The motors would just sit there, and you would knock the throttle or think it's disarmed, and then it would just rip your face off. And I remember just being like, people requesting that I do that feature, and I was just like, I'm gonna put like every 20-second beep on your transmitter just to let you know, like 10 seconds, like it would just chirp once to be like, by the way, you're armed.
To be fair, I still do that. I still have air mode on a Switch. I don't like always air mode because I got used to air mode being absolutely crap when you came to land. It just bounced around. And I had to be very accurate in my landings, else it would just go in a puddle or the long grass and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was a feature of either Clean Flight or Beta Flight. When you armed it, it would chirp on its own. You didn't have to do anything on the radio. So that way you wouldn't just accidentally hit the throttle or pick it up and say, hey, wave it and stuff. And cut your
Was
fingers
that
off.
a thing?
Yeah, I remember it. It definitely did it. I can't remember where it came in, though.
The thing is, with the CC3D, I would have loved to have had one of those, but there's two things, right? Failsafe, do you remember what this is? Do you even know what this is? This is a micro.
That's a micro USB. No, not the micro.
Yeah.
It's mini.
That looks like a mini USB to me.
Yeah, mini. Yep, that's
we use
right.
on cameras often.
This was made before you were born, probably. And that connects to the CC3D. Who has this with them? No one. Mini USB.
I've got my USB cables lined up there. They're all. You see that bit? They're all different, so I know.
FGDI adapters. Failsafe, you're breaking the rules. You're moving.
I'll find my.
But.
Oh yeah, there's one. That's one, isn't it? Mini B.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Everyone's got a mini. There's always some stuff that comes weird.
Is that in the Arduino Uno Blue?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh,
that's where I got mine from.
Yeah, you've got a
3D,
little bit more.
3D printers like the Ender 3 used to use them as well. That's probably where I've got mine.
Yeah. I have an Audio Geek. You're possibly the only person to like. I have HD cameras that you have mini USB camera antenna. I think you'll find that's mini HDMI. I don't think you'll find that that's mini USB. I don't know. Clive, yeah. So the CC3D hasn't got enough room for the version that I've got because there's a bootloader on it that you can't get rid of, I think.
Well, that's you putting Beta Flight on CC3D instead of using Copter Control or what it was back then, which is now what's it got replaced by? Some different open source thing that I forgot.
Open Toilet?
No, after that it got replaced by another open source project. The whole open toilet.
RG Pilot?
No. It had a funny name. Hang on, I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Duncan Stewart, man, with the guesses. Open
Pilot was the original one. Oh, Libra Pilot. That was it. I've remembered it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, thank you. Frank got there as well. Yeah, and Martin.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's all coming in. Hang on. I forgot to do it. Hang on. I'm so sorry. Is it brand? Yeah, there you go.
Well, you literally forgot how to put the screen up, so I don't know if that's about me or you.
I think that's... Well, we can play it twice. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough.
Frank, I love the fact you made that. It's brilliant. Best play to mention. So, Failsafe, if I send you this, would you have a go? Would you put it on something?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Have you got PWM? Like capable ESCs?
Just check.
They'll all talk PWM. They just like, what's this? What is an SD shot? It'd be fine.
Yeah. No, like even the KISS V1 flight controller. If you update the ESC so they take D shot, PWM doesn't work anymore. I can't
It's
believe
not
that's
at
a thing. It's horrendous.
The other fun thing
Anyway,
about having
Libra
PWM,
pilot.
yeah,
Yep, so the Fetic ESCs do support PWM, so yep, I'll be able to back that in the quad and fly.
yeah. Don't
Well, I say
forget to
fly, but-
calibrate your ESCs first. You'll need to
Oh, yes,
set
you
your
need to set
throttle
them in a
high,
max,
wait for the
don't you?
beeps, and come back down. That's good fun.
Fail safe. Like, do not have any props on this on your bench.
Well, things go wrong.
You know
Spins
what?
up.
Yes. Marshall McFly just messaged me. He goes, I found the plush. Yes. Send
Nice.
it. Send it. Yes. And fail safe. Oh, mind you, he's got. So the problem is with this is we have to buy something called a polarizing filter to put back on this that you had on old Game Boys.
Polarizing filter. Oh.
Yeah. In order.
What's that for?
Well, this is second hand, and someone thinks that thought that there was a screen protector, and you peeled it off. So you have a polarizer in order to see the pixels. Luckily, though, we are in luck. I do have a shitty old Game Boy that we could peel the polarizer off. Whether it will stay on there, who knows? But it's an option.
Yeah.
Does it have a shitty polarizer on it? Can I get the shitty polarizer off it? This is
really
an
quite
after.
thin.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe you could props off. Don't be on fire. It's a FetTech. Can you imagine running FetTech ESCs and he's using this? It'll be hilarious.
Just explode. Have you guys? I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a video in this FPV group on Facebook called FPV Life, and where someone went to land, and like I'm pretty sure like half of the motor. I don't know if there's been a problem with the ESC or something, but like the ESC, one of the motors just span up like maximum throttle, and apparently disarmed. It was still maximum throttle, and the quad was just going like this in the air. Just constantly, even disarmed, like it wouldn't disarm. It's a bit crazy, but yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, it's like killing.
Stop that.
It's like trying to kill a wild animal when these things go wrong, because you know, like I remember, like back in the day, like Curry. You know, when you first started, did you set a failsafe? Because I had a Turnigy 9X. I did not know anything about failsafes.
You didn't really have a failsafe as such on the old 9X stuff. It just used to carry on. It's like, what happens if it goes out of range? It's just like it just uses the last signal, and you wonder what happens. It just like drifts along for a while, and then eventually crashes.
That is like he's not joking. That is literally what they do. It is absolutely horrendous.
It was quite tricky as well in fixed wing stuff, because before you had like proper fail safes on flight controllers, what you had to do is put all your positions of your throttle and stuff where you wanted them, and then press the bind button to set a fail safe. So often, even when we had like autopilots, which was like, you know, way pre the INAV stuff, what we'd have to do is like power up the plane, put it like full throttle, put the switch on return to home, and then try and press this bind button while the thing's going, just trying to make sure that's the fail safe you got. Weird times.
Yeah. Because, like, I remember I was chatting to Stephen, and I'm sorry, mate, for chucking you under the bus. He's like, what do I flash this to? I'm like, you don't flash it. What was on it, that works. Yeah, that's what you got. And he's like, how do I configure? And I'm like, you press the buttons, and there's a little screen on there that tells you, fails. I'm gonna have to draw like a pin map and stuff like that. It's gonna blow your mind. Do you have a PWM receiver to put with this? So each individual channel has its own wire. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah.
That will use PPM though, won't it, that one?
Yeah. A CPPM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if not, I can get I mean, I'm thinking I might have to get one of those, those Radio Master PWM ELRS receivers and just wire that up somehow. I don't know if that'll work.
So
Yeah.
and then you have to make sure that you go on to the ELRS, like the little like its MAC address, and then go on there and then set what your failsafe 0 on throttle, and then set it, and then double check it, because this will.
You haven't learned about the fun thing yet. Like if you want to do like rolls and loops, there's no curve on there, so you'd have to set the rates on the KK2 at like 200% or something, and then introduce Expo on your radio to try and give yourself some mid stick.
Yeah, which means sending a weaker signal or less. Well, not weaker signal, less resolution of control. So if you got a bucket and you filled it with stand and then stuck a stick in the middle of it and then poured water in it, that's kind of how your controls feel. Actually, that might actually feel a bit better. You can still buy a new KK2 on AliExpress.
Can you actually? Oh my gosh.
Tailspin, post the link in the Discord. There is.
What's the sort of price on like back then? Are they sort of expensive, or were they sort of reasonably priced? Oh.
Curry.
I can't remember. I think they're like 20 or 30 quid when they first came out. Okay. So they weren't stupid price, because there was Hobby King, and Hobby King was like mass producing these things. That's probably why there's still warehouses full of them. So AliExpress can sell them now.
I think I found it. Yeah, 42 quid on AliExpress.
That's gone up.
Yeah, it's like a screen. It's got 4 buttons, right? And then it's got like pin headers either side, I think. Yeah. Damn.
Fun times.
Yeah, it is like. I know what the WTF is Discord. Tailspin, can you post? Yeah, you're a post the link, man. Post the link for everyone else playing along to enjoy. But yeah, man. Like, what was the first failsafe? What was the first thing that you flew? Flight controller wise, what are we looking at?
My first flight controller was a Mamba F405, DJI one, because back then, I think I followed one of Drone Mesh's videos, and he's like, "Oh, it's future proof, so you get DJI version." Even though I didn't get DJI until like another year, but yeah, the F405, and I had two of them, and then went on to an F7, and now the G4. So yeah, I didn't really start with any. I started on Betaflight. Yeah.
No F3, no F1, no multi-wii, no Open Pilot, Libra Pilot. No.
What even is that?
I bet you haven't even cracked open a Wii controller to take gyros out, and this is where Failsafe says, "What's a Wii controller?"
Yeah,
like before my time.
No, I've played on the Wii, so I know what it is, but I haven't actually taken it apart.
Did you go straight to 6S, or have you had a 4S quad?
Straight to 6S.
Oh my god! Man, like, remember 3S? Like, what was your first games console?
Oh, that's a good question. We never really got. I just went straight to PC. I didn't even have a game console. We've never really had a TV in the house, so we've not really ever had a console. So that's just like an old Dell Optiplex. That's what I used to play on. And then probably I got a Wii some time ago, but pretty recently.
Where is it? That there. So yeah, you need to set your failsafe, whatever you're in here.
So don't set that to 2000.
No,
that'll just full throttle.
Yeah. So then when you lose signal, it's the receiver that tells you
Oh, I see.
what, and that microseconds. If you click that, and yeah, you have to invert your channels here, or you could do it in the mixer if you want. But then it means that, and there's also, hang on, oh god, was there stick commands?
What, on Clean Flight, Beta Flight? Yeah,
Two.
I started
No, on
arming like that.
KK2.
Oh yes, it's the old classic down to the right or left, depending if you have it thingied or not. I can only remember it when I do it. It's like middle, across, and down with the yaw. It's the normal one. It's the same as Beta Flight or Clean Flight was.
You know when you're old as balls, when hang on, oh my god, is it not there? Window, like you type in stick commands KK2, and that's it, one page.
Yeah. So the thing to be careful with, because of the stick commands on the KK2, if you go and do an inverted yaw spin, you're effectively disarming yourself in the air.
Yeah.
If you rotate a certain direction, so don't do that. That would be bad.
Right. Watch out for that. Damn, I don't like. I would have never thought, like, looking at that first instance, I'd never thought that would be a flight controller. Like, why would you have a screen on it? Like, I guess
So
there's
you
no
can
other way of
break it
configuring
more
it.
easily.
Changes. Yeah.
I guess.
Otherwise, it was
really-
a case of like, you'd go down to the field, you'd try stuff out, and then like, I'll have to go back home and do some changes. Because
And I guess you'd not really have a PC or some other thing to configure it, really, would you?
laptops were a bit heavy back in them days.
Yeah,
Like
and you never had enough battery in order to complete what you wanted to do.
That makes sense.
Hang on, learn more, disagree to all. There you go. So remember this failsafe. You'll be replaying this podcast over and over again and being like, those three are CPPM, and then these are your motor outputs. That's ground, that's 5 volts, and that's battery monitor. That's VBAT. So you just connect,
Can it be powered off VBAT as well, or do you have to power it with 5 volts?
You have to power it by 5 volts.
So
Voltage
you're going to need a
divider on
back.
here. This LED is the status LED of truth. That'll let you know what's going on. Here's a 6-minute video of Hobby King, right? So what I'm showing him is this is the old KK, and this is the KK Mini. And I'm sending you the KK Mini because that was the only thing that will fit into a 30. Is it 30 or 35 by 35? This thing is massive.
Yeah, it's ginormous.
How big is it compared to a normal flight controller?
If it's 30 by 30, that'd be amazing. So I don't have to print anything or just fit straight in my stack. Be nice.
It's just the regular KK2. It is.
If you plug the 5 volt in wrong, you'll blow
50
the
by
mic
50.
controller. Dominic Clifton, we are educating. How are you doing? You all right, buddy? Likewise, this will cause damage. So I'm guessing, what's wrong here? Does anyone notice?
Let's swap the 5 volt and ground the wrong way around.
Yeah, there you go. This was a default R2.
Yeah, I remember having to put the little jumper in to make it to ppm.
You guys have to use a fast Sky receiver now. I can at least hopefully use Express LRS. That'd be nice. Won't be fail-safing all the time.
The ESC pen headers. Yeah, VB1 markings refer to the solder pads. So, yeah, okay. and this was a I don't know, receiver wire or whatever.
That's a servo lead.
Servo lead.
Best way of saying it. Yeah.
There you go. LDO.
I never even knew that was a thing. That's the first time I've actually seen one properly. KK2.
Yeah. Well, let me know, and we will. I will.
Oh, definitely up for doing a video. That'd be cool.
Oh, it'd be hilarious. Just seeing that connected to a FedTech ESC just will be hilarious.
Yeah, I'll be definitely posting that around the Facebook groups.
Yeah.
New flight controller. The best specimen and everything.
Hopefully YouTube won't demonetize this, or whatever, right? But it will fly like dog shit. Just a heads up. If you're lucky.
Well, we'll get to find out if it was just us, Jack. If put in the hands of Failsafe, it can suddenly be amazing. But I struggle to see how he can do that. Where he's only got a P and I to play with. There's no D. There's no filters, and he's got 4 buttons to play with. Yeah.
What's the flight control about D?
The only D is in your pants.
A T.
That's the only D. The only D is you in the middle of a field, like, man, just like, oh my god. Because, like, you know, I thought about, you know, getting, what was it, the Emax motors, the 2300 with like the smallest stator in the world. Like, it's literally like 4 mil high, the stator and those motors. But the money for stuff is just like, and it's just not worth it. I mean, it gets worse because, like, on the same blog, like, look, if it's not already shit as it is, that's a ZMR with a board camera. There's no tilt, so he's flying it just flat. And just to make it a bit more heavier, they've 3D printed what I can only describe as some sort of tumor on the bottom, the mid, in between the top and like the bottom plate and the other bottom plate. To keep the ESCs in there.
Oh.
And like, if you really wanted to like dice with death, you could drill out these bits. So that's like literally about, I don't know, 1 mil or 2 of carbon holding the motors on. So you can actually fit the motors. I don't know why he's done that.
I had to draw mine out to get the screws in for the motors. I remember doing that. That was.
I think it's because they're 18650 holes. I've got no idea. I mentioned that earlier.
Some very weird motor mount pattern there. One screw is just longer, sort of, more spaced out.
The circlip's just grinding away. It's like not even center. Like, you know, and then oh no, we'll add more spaces. I mounted them between the motor and the arm. No props out there, buddy. You get all the grass just smeared onto your lens just to make it that bit more thrilling. You don't need to see where you're going. Look at it. Look at that. 8 meg. 8 meg board. 3S baby. Don't plug in a 4S to that VBAT.
I'll be putting 6S into it. I'm not into VBAT.
Yeah, just don't. Shall I cut the VBAT pin off? Because if you do that, it's just gonna smoke.
Well, I run 6S, so it's probably not be hooking up anyways.
Yeah, 5-volt.
To be fair, there's very little point on connecting to the VBAT because then it just tells you on the screen what your voltage is, and you'd have to land to find out anyway.
Yeah, there's no OSD or anything. It's less on-screen display and more on the quad display. If you think about it, it's true. You know, so yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, I'll be well up for trying that. Definitely do a video for sure.
But I just wanna see, like, you plug in and you got FetTech ESCs and that noise, and then you just look and there's a KK2.
That'd be so funny.
No telemetry. Well, you might have telemetry.
That'd be sick.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you
no.
get it back from your ELRS still.
Fuck. It's like, oh mate, you're not even gonna know what to do yourself. It's gonna be like I had, no word of a lie, I had a saved search. I still have. I've got a saved search on eBay for KK2 Mini, and this is the only one that's come up in 5 years.
It's because they're all in the bin. That's it, basically.
Where they belong.
By the time the Mini came out, you were starting to get proper F1 boards running CleanFly and stuff.
Yeah. Modern ESCs will make old flight controllers work much better due to the active braking, which wasn't on the old ESCs.
Yes, good point.
So it might fly better than you think. No, Dom, there's no way. Like, it's like, how?
It's gotta fly good.
That's no fun. Send in the plushes as well.
Turn off the active braking. Email Felix and be like, how do I turn off?
I don't think there's actually a way of doing that in the settings. Yeah.
It's amazing this hobby is where it is now, considering how it started. Which Richard Warwick, yeah, man. I know. It was like if you were to teleport back, failsafe, you'd just be like, oh my god, they are monkeys bashing things with rocks. Like how they discovered flight, we'll never know.
Well, but if you remember, before it was RunCam, we used to order cameras from Security Camera 2000 that became RunCam. So it's very much like we're using repurposed security cameras, not cameras built for FPV.
Wow, so that it was just like what security camera company? Now they just turned into RunCam because of the popularity. Yep. Wow, didn't know that. Cool.
There is a funny photo of an ATM with a RunCam in there, like behind there's like a little window and there's a little orange RunCam sat in the ATM.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I would not think that is a legitimate ATM if I saw that.
No, well, it was.
Not anybody ever gets cash out these days.
That's what happened, though. Think about it. To their thing, like we bought all their board cams, so they had no choice. They couldn't get hold of any because we basically pillaged, and we bought so many of them, because we were smashing them to pieces.
Oh yeah, Audio Get mentioned Surveil Zone as well, which was the other place. Again, very much on the security camera market.
It was just a board with a camera screwed in, and you used to have to break bits of the board off to get it to fit in certain sizes.
Oh.
It was just.
Is that your controller there next to it as well? I think.
What do you mean?
The joystick. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Set up the bits and pieces.
Yeah, but it had, it didn't have any overlay. It wouldn't, say RunCam or tell you the voltage. It was just.
Actually, often in those overlay things, you could set it up so it was like a reversing camera, so you'd get the lines. So that's the other thing they repurposed from reversing cameras for cars. So you could literally put the overlay of the lines on there, so when you're reversing, you could see where you're going.
Yeah. Dominic Clifton famously had that when he won the I say race. It was, oh my god, you could barely make it round a course.
But someone finished a
But
lap. That's it. You're the
Sprinter
winner.
said, yeah, I know. Yeah, that basically, yeah, that's what happened. And he had wrote his own code. So good luck, boy. I didn't. I thought you did. I thought you had like the little reversing lines on display.
700
So you
TVL.
I
We'll
know.
say.
It definitely wasn't. It was still my favorite event. Yep. Hang on. Let's have a look, man. There's no. Hang on. Radio C. Oh fucking hell. Painless 360.
What are we looking
Does
for?
it fluff? I'm. Aha! I think we found it. Hang on. You're gonna be. Here we go. Present share screen. There's no audio. So this was the event. No one expected. This is 12.5 trying to offer.
Yeah, what you might be seeing is the future of the hobby. This is how we're allowed to fly now, just in this tiny enclosed space.
There's not
So many people there.
There's me.
Flying.
There's Dominic Clifton. But look at it. Look how. I mean, they're smoother than I thought they would be.
Yeah. It'll be all over the place.
I know. But this was like, most of them were running base flight at a push, clean flight. Yeah, I'm looking for a Frank. I think Frank's here. See, there's Frank. Funny enough, stood near me. There's Johnny Banton, if anyone knows who that is.
Is that Tony in the blue there in the right-hand corner?
I think so, yeah. I think Tony was being a weirdo. No, there he is. He's near me, but I didn't know Tony. Tony didn't talk to me. It wasn't until he annoyed me by not flying properly. There we go. Look, there's Tony. There's Tony's arm. There we go. That's me. That's Frank. Yeah. This is kind of like where it all began. But yeah, fail safe. If you can fly, it'll be amazing. It'll just be so funny. Just you trying to rip that spot. If you can get it to work, that'll be an amazing feat.
Have you recently powered it up then? Do you know it sort of powers up and still working somewhat?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it works. It powers up. It needs a little it needs a polarizer, and that's it. So it'll order. When was this? This was, hang on, it was 7 years ago. Hang on, just to prove. Hang on, present, share screen. There you go, look. May 28th, 2015. So we need to do something. Look, there's Frank. There's Frank.
How many months ago? 6 months ago. Oh, yeah. And 7 years ago. Damn.
I know.
Crazy.
I know. Time has moved on. That was 2014. No, it was 2015. It can't have been 2015. Yeah.
2015. Wow.
But yeah, we need to find out when that event exactly was that day, so we can. That was a key meet. It was funny. It is hard to, but it would just be so funny. You trying to You know, if you go to that office park and try and rip like you did, it'll be amazing. If you can do that.
I mean, I'll probably fly in the park first before, an office park, but yeah, we give it a go.
How old were you?
How old were you in 2015? 6th of March, so 2. So I was 12. Yeah, I was 12. 12.
Oh my god! Needs to be done. I've launched my LED board. So if you wanna get some, they are available on FPV Exchange. So if you wish, there's the measurements to see whether they'll fit. There's the LED order. That's what they look like. So if you want any, someone order them. They come with a sticker with Tony. It's quite a funny sticker, and it's the only way you can get that sticker. So yeah, if you can, it's cool. That would be amazing. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Curry, what else you been up to, my friend? Other than dying, what's on the bench ready to?
On the bench, ready to show people a couple of things. There is a parallel charging board from HGLRC, which I had the 4-port one before, and now they've done a 6-port one. But they also sent me a hoodie and a hat, which is interesting. Because for a charging board which is this big, it came in this huge box. I was like, that's curious. What's that about? And one of these quads where suppliers occasionally watch my videos on reviewing these sort of budget cinema quads, which is basically like a cheapo version of a DJI, which never works. And then they say, "Oh, check mine out. It's great." And it's like, really? Have you seen all the reviews? Because normally what happens is nothing works, and I fly it around, and then I get 200 angry comments from people that bought them and says, "Well, my one's fine. Perhaps you're not doing it right." So one of those, which is actually about the same price as like a DJI Mini 2. So I don't know. That's
better be good.
Better be good. But yeah, I've got. It's kind of, I'm trying to do the same as I was trying to do last time I was on. So I had I had my wing ready to fly, the Flux wing, and I'm going to do let's just actually launch it, auto launch like this and see what happens. And I've got my Open HD wing ready to fly, and I'm just trying to finish off the 7-inch quad to put the Pi Zero on it, and I just need to make a few more pieces to put the camera on and stuff. That's supposed to be what I'm doing.
Have you seen as well about Pi Zero and stuff like that? The Raspberry Pi just released a new camera, I think. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, just released it's got a new sensor on it. It's got autofocus. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but it's like an updated version.
Well, that might be interesting because the camera you have to use at the moment to get a decent picture from it is really expensive. It's like 60 quid. So something cheaper might be nice.
No,
there's footage from it.
Yeah, if you can improve the flight characteristics of this, this was a Naze. This was probably a Naze 32 tone. What was this? But this was the course. This, basically Dom ripped around here, no problem.
This is awesome. I like it. You just some random forests and just put some labels on it. Made a course.
Yeah, and some caution tape. Tony!
He should have showed DVR really. Then we could have seen what it was. A little bit what it was like.
Tone, have you got any DVR? Look at that. He uploaded it on the same day. Or the day after, actually. So the 24th of May, we need to meet up at East Grinstead on 24th of May this year and have a Scientology meeting. Gibbon FPV. Oh my God, man. They stopped uploading 6 years ago. Oh, man. This is what I mean. Like, look at this. Emax Nighthawk Pro.
Oh my gosh.
Killing another Mobius. Let's see how a Mobius died. This has just turned into us watching videos. Yeah, so like it's just
died all on
wobbly.
their own.
It's all, yeah, I know. Yeah, they just used to switch off mid-flight. Look at the jitters. This is the performance you got to beat,
not
my
bad
friend.
for my Mobius.
Yeah. Well, there was the upgrade. You know, you could update it, couldn't you? And then it was pretty good. The colours were always pretty good on a Mobius, I found.
It'd be interesting. It's hard to imagine. You see, back in the day, it was all like the fact you were in the air and you were flying
Grenades.
was just amazing. So getting around a course wobbly was pretty good. Coming into it where you're already very good and you're used to going very fast and easy around these things, it'd be interesting if you'll be able to sort of apply what you're doing now and just be like, oh, this flies a bit crappy, but really get it around there quick. Because I don't think you're going to go back and regress quite as bad as we all were starting out, when it's like, it's in the air, it's been in the air for 2 minutes now, what's going to explode? It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, combined with all the other things, you know, like ESCs, new ESCs, newer frames, you know, better cameras, stuff like that, you know, with today's tech, that'd be really interesting to see just how it will fly, really, with everything else being a lot better. Yeah.
So, Caroline Taylor, like, messaged me in chat, this, and said, this guy in Spain is, it's not showing the, here we go. This guy in Spain is building a scale F-35 and Harrier VTOLs and spending loads on carbon fiber EDFs. And what is he using to run it? KK2, apparently. So look at the size of that. Like, hang on. Look, like ducks. Like changing direction ducks by the looks of it, carbon fiber, all like, no way. You're kidding me, Caroline. I mean, the size of those ESCs are like, yeah, look. So this, wait for it, that failsafe is a KK2 HC, and do you know what the HC stands for? Heap of crap. No, it stands for hard case. So this has got a hard case on it, and an external ribbon cable that goes to the screen. So the screen.
I assume you had the screen mounted in the side.
Look, see it down there underneath his hand. Oh my God, Caroline, where did you find this? Where did you like? Oh my word! Joe, do you know these? Like, have you been watching this? Should I subscribe? I mean, what? I mean, like the battery's worth more than that KK2. Like,
a massive battery there.
The receiver
line
is more up to date. Like everything's just. Oh, they're screaming. Like, look at those servos. You got like hardcore servos. I mean, what are they? Bluebirds or something really? I mean, they're really fancy, and it's all been run by KK2. Why?
That's crazy.
What the hell? That's like
buying. Look at those tiny things.
Yeah, it's like buying a Ferrari and like putting a Vauxhall Nova engine in it. This is like not the peak performance.
Look at that transmitter as well. What is that?
I know, duplex. there's probably not enough memory in the KK2 to even spell the word duplex.
Guys, I gotta zip off straight away because I'm getting called by the family. But I'll wave my goodbye now.
Hang on, no, it's fine.
problem.
We'll end it there. That's unfortunately all we've got time for. And yep, you've been listening to Let's Drone Out. We're live every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. UK time. Thanks for all the lovely people that came here to watch the stream. We love you all. This show is impartial because it's been sponsored by the lovely people who sponsor us on Patreon. A few of those people is Chris N, Gabe, Badger, Stuart Thorne, Rich Miles, Stephen, Andrew Lawrence, Caroline Taylor is one. You've been joined by everyone's favourite Curry Kitten.
Goodbye.
And Failsafe has graced us with his presence. Thank you. Managed to stand still. And I've been Brighton till I fly. Tyler. Sorry. I'm dyslexic. Sorry. I'm terrible. I got the first bit right. Right. Thank you guys. And we will catch you next week. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.